Welcome, everyone. This is the BumCast. I am your host, HBIC, the head bum in charge, and my tag team partner is off today. I got in his non-union Cuban counterpart, Bologna Mancata.
Look good, feel good, play good. Johan's back. The White Sox are back. I thought, why don't I put on some of my wife's jewelry, get a little swaggy, and just bask in the good times, man. I think we've been so negative for so long, and I feel like this was a good week for everyone involved. So
I
let's
have
do
to
it.
I have to give you props for the commitment, man. Little getting the chest hair shave and busting out the machismo and
That's a good point. I do feel a little bit of Razor Ramon. We might have. I'm going a little tits out for the boys there a little bit. I might have to. I don't know if this is on our YouTube. Is it rated NC-17 or rated R?
it might have to do. You're just dripping sex right now. Like we might have to change the rating on this from a
I feel
just
good, man. This might not. This
TVMA.
just might be my look for the summer. I'm just gonna go full out Johan.
Well, so we should mention that this Saturday it's our first Bums Night out at the ballpark because you weren't able to go last time, and we got the Southside Bum who's joining us as well. So this is going to be a nice Bums Night out. So I think you should wear it to the game on Saturday, dude. Just go in on it all the way.
I mean, the weather's warm. I feel like that's gonna turn around with the White Sox bats and stuff. Like we've been waiting for a long time for this. This spring has been so brutal that
Yes.
I know it might just be a full summer look.
Well, I appreciate you embracing it because the Sox have had, after the shit past 2 weeks that we had complaining and the sky's falling, there's no offense. They go out, they sweep the Cubs, they sweep the Red Sox, which in Fenway is no easy task. I mean, the Red Sox aren't that good now, anyways, but still, anytime you go on the road in Fenway, and I have to say that I'm hoping that the offense is back, but you still got some shitty hitters. But we got Mancata back, we got Joe Kelly back, getting Andrew Vaughn back pretty soon. And it looks like a month from now, we're going to get Eloy and Lance Lynn back, according to Rick Hahn. So you just got to get through the next 4 weeks potentially. And this team is, fingers crossed, no other injuries, is going to be back at full strength. And I'm excited, man. Like this, we got the game on right now. Gavin Sheets hitting bombs, even though he looked bad in that first inning.
You had a couple negative tweets about Gavin Sheets today, and I just wanted to point them out because, I mean, it's no secret. He hasn't been good this year. And you've been a fan of Berger. I'm okay with, Berger, Sheets. It's one of the last man on the rosters.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Berger did enough to keep on the roster, but now Sheets is showing out. Like he shut us up. Like we had the tweet. Like he said, "Fuck your tweets."
He did, and it rhymed too. So it was very clever. But yeah, so right now, like this is first Monday. They played last Monday too, but so like we're going live during the Sox game. I have to say I'm happy that 7:00 baseball games are back.
Yeah.
Fuck that 6 p.m. shit.
Yeah,
that is the worst ever. I mean, I understand it's a road game, but 7:00 baseball is where it's at. So Michael Kopech, he just dropped his nuts all over the Guardians today. He went 6 innings, 2 hits. He only gave up, and then he went I think 4 innings with throwing a no-hitter at that point. 2 hits, 1 run, which wasn't earned because of the Gavin Sheets error. 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and now his ERA is sub 1 at a .93. So Michael Kopech is a bad man. Rick Hahn needs to give him the check right now. Lock him up long term in the team friendly deals.
I mean, I agree with you. He's been as advertised. I still think, we're still in May. Let's see if he can go, 6, 7 innings at a time. Stretch him out, make sure he's good and ready. I think it's early for lock him up for ever, basically.
Here's the thing. My concern with that is you still haven't done shit with Geo yet. We know how Jerry is with his pitchers, and I'm just worried that Rick Hahn's going to fuck this up with, we're going to have all these great hitters, and then we're going to be stuck with talking every year about why they haven't taken care of pitching. Geo's got to fucking, I hope he's got to stick around. Like, I hope that they actually come out to a long-term deal. You got basically 1 more year left of Geo before his prices just keep on going up every year. Kopech, we still got him control for a bit, but granted, you like to get him in that team friendly deal. Lance Lynn, you got I think 2 years left of Lynn, and Dallas. See you later. I hope you don't even make it out of. He might be gone next week. Fingers crossed, because Cueto looks like he's ready to come up sometime after his start on Wednesday in AAA. So hopefully Dallas is gone. And I gotta say, Vinny V, he's growing on me.
I think Ethan Katz got his hands on Vinny V, and I think he's been way better than Dallas. What worries me is I think Dallas did just enough right now to save his job. The White Sox have an interesting dilemma with Johnny Cueto. You know, you gotta do something with him by the 15th.
Right.
I know it looks like he's gonna get one more start in the minors before that. But if they can keep him, or the dude decide to keep him, the White Sox got a rough next, 3 weeks or so.
Yes, they do. They got a very tough April, one of the toughest in baseball. And now, hopefully, we punch, Cleveland right back in the mouth after we got swept from them. But that was during our bad stretch there. But then you got 4 against the Yankees. Luckily, we're home, but yeah, this is going to be a true test to see if that offense is really back with the Yankees this weekend. And Yankees, I think they're hot, man. Like,
I mean, Yankees are a very, very good team right now. I think it's going to be a good litmus test if we can, take 2 out of 3 from Cleveland, or at least win the series from Cleveland, and then go from there. We talked last week. I thought the Cubs series was just what the doctor ordered for the White Sox. They were not that good of a team. It was like a get right series, and then it just carried over with the Red Sox, because the same thing. Red Sox right now, they look like a lost team, man. They look just as bad as when the White Sox were on that 9-game stretch where things just aren't going right. They can't hit. It's just weird. It's weird to see the Red Sox in this position, but that AL East is really, really good. So
yeah,
somebody's gonna have to be in last place, and right now it's the Red Sox. But I mean, you could only play who's on your schedule, and that week was just what the doctor ordered. So yeah, I wanted to snowball. I feel like, I mean, the pitching has been unbelievable.
Here's a stat from Chuck Garfien right now. In the last 7 games, the Sox starters have a 1.63 ERA.
Yeah, it's been crazy how good as a whole staff. Not even the starters, bullpen, everybody's contributing.
As a staff, a record label, and a motherfucking crew.
Exactly. And they've been getting by with just the pitching and then timely hitting every so often, because realistically, they're scoring. What are they averaging? Less than 4 runs a game, right?
Yeah, so they're the star. Yeah, they're
no.
right now.
The offense. The
offense, yeah, it's around 4.
It's like
yeah,
3. It's sub 3. It's like, I think it's sub 3.2 or 3.5 as a team. So we're all waiting for the weather to get warm. We're all waiting for, the bats to get hot. And I do think it's going to happen. But for now, they've just been relying on that pitching staff, and they've been awesome. So, I mean, I'm not complaining about anyone, even Dallas. We like to complain about Dallas, and I still hope he's the one that's getting DFA'd. I don't think it's happening just because of Jerry. But, like, everybody's contributing right now. So,
yeah,
I'm happy. It's a happy
except
week.
for AJ Pollock.
AJ, what's that's the thing? So yeah, so we could talk about.
I mean, even I will say something nice. Even Laurie is heating up. He's had a good couple weeks.
We talked about my whole thing. I'm like, I'm dropping the shtick. I'm not gonna do the whole say something nice about Luis Garcia to you. But he had a good weekend against the Red Sox, and he's followed that up with at least a decent game today, right? He was on base earlier. Maybe say something nice about Lurie.
I mean, he's had a nice couple of weeks. That's what I'm going to say. So he still can't defend for shit. But at this point, we need Yaz and Pollock to start hitting. They just been. I mean, Yaz at least takes the walks. Those two are still bad. And McGuire, my God, I can't keep watching him bat. Finally gave up on this. I couldn't stop staring at your sunglasses. By the way,
I know, I'm done. I had to get back into it because I'm going to go blind by the end of this. Anyway, yes, I think AJ Pollock, dude, it was weird because we heard, the scouting report was that he's a good hitter and he's a streaky hitter. That start he had with us, that first game, we're like, holy shit, this guy's the real deal. and then he got hurt, and he went on what paternity leave, and he just hasn't. He looks lost at the plate right now. I tweeted out he needs a couple days off, maybe get right. But realistically, now that Yoan's back, like the pecking order just goes lower and lower. We're going to be asking less of AJ Pollock now that Yoan's back, and now Vaughn's coming back. It sounds like the end of this week. They said maybe Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, he's gonna get a short rehab stint, so he'll be back after the Yankee series probably.
Okay, so then we get Vaughn back, and then like everyone moves down in the order, and so realistically, I think we're in a good spot. The Yankee series is going to be interesting. Like you don't want to put all your eggs in a basket, especially in May, but it'll be a good test to see where this team really is.
Yep. Also, and speaking of when you were talking about that Cubs series, I just want to make a Cubs note. I don't know if you realize this or not, but the Field of Dreams game this year is between the Cubs and the Reds. And
oh boy,
Rob Manfred needs to fucking like NFL flex that shit, like Sunday Night Football flex that shit, because
that sounds like
cannot put the Cubs and the Reds in the Field of Dreams game. Put like the Dodgers and the Giants, or like put an NL West team when they're all over 500. Like make that compelling game. Like no one wants to watch the Cubs and the Reds in that Field of Dreams game.
Cubs and Reds just sounds like that random Thursday night game where you always get, the Titans versus the Jaguars or something like that. And it's like, God damn it, I got to watch this thing. And we are going to watch it. Don't get me wrong. We will watch it. We're a sucker for that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, obviously, those are two bad teams right now.
Yeah. So Rob Manfred, flex that shit. Like pull some. You're definitely the worst commissioner in all of sports. Hopefully he fixes something. But anyways, okay, enough Sox talk. Let's talk. This was a roller coaster of a weekend. We had a lot going on. Started off with a little Cinco de Mayo, Doctor Strange, which we're not going to talk about Doctor Strange until next week. We're going to give people another week to see it.
I almost wanted to add it to the list. I really wanted to add it to the list. It was we're
gonna talk Doctor Strange next week.
Okay.
So we had some Cinco de Mayo. We had the Kentucky Derby, which I want to talk about because what the fuck. And then we had good friend of the Bums, Rick. He turned 40 this weekend, so we had a nice little outing at his place, drinking a lot of bourbon and spirituous. And then we had Mother's Day. We had a whole bunch of outings with the mamas. So I just want to say, like, that Kentucky Derby. Now we were by my buddy's house. We did the whole. It was a 40th. We did the theme. We all dressed up. We had the fancy hats and the suits on, and he booked a bartender. We were drinking the mint juleps, and
it was fancy, man.
Placing bets. He had the big board that we were all writing our wagers on, and the fucking 80 to 1 horse.
80 to 1.
Just 81. Rich Strike, who I didn't realize this at the time, just got added to the Derby that day.
Yeah, it was like a claims race like on Friday. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a horse guy by any means. I feel like you are a little more than me. You really get into the Derby, and I know you've been to Hawthorne when it was around and stuff like that. Arlington. So, but this was possibly one of the best feel-good stories I have ever read.
Oh, feel good for the jockey and the trainer, not for me. I lost a shit ton of money on that, like, because I had all of the. I tweeted out the bum bets, and I had my picks, and I listened to like what Eddie. I do my picks, and then I hear like what Eddie Olczyk says every Derby time, whatever, and then I'll take some of those picks and I'll mix and match. I'll do some different boxes, like exacta box, trifecta box, and if you're not familiar with the boxing, it just means you pick 3 winners and then they can come in any order to finish. So if you have an exacta, that's the first and second place horse, you pick 2, you box them, they can, as long as those 2 horses are the top 2, you win. So yeah, everything that was like all the experts' favorites and the 5 to 1, the 6 to 1, the 8 to 1 odds, all of them, they got just. I don't think I've ever seen a horse pull that big of an upset. But I will say I'm happy it wasn't a Bob Baffert horse.
Well, wasn't he suspended or like banned for a
Yeah,
year or whatever?
yeah. Well, he still had two of his horses were in the
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean,
race,
it
but they
doesn't
just
mean
he just
anything,
couldn't be there.
right? The
So
rich strike thing, dude. Um, he, he looked. Now I'm saying he, I like obviously I don't even know how to phrase it, but he looked like a running back hitting the hole at one point in that race. That's like the best I could compare it to is like they keep showing on Twitter and stuff, you know, like the overhead view of like the whole race, and he's just like coming out of nowhere. But then there's like the camera's front view, and it looks like he just saw a gap, he hit the gap and ran through. I was like, holy shit! And then he was he was so far behind, the announcer like didn't notice him until the very end. And I know people were complaining about that. I still thought it was a really cool call. You know, like whenever these horse race guys, the announcers, yeah, like they, and you know, like down the stretch they come, and like they're screaming and hooting and hollering and stuff like that. It just does something to you as a sports fan where it's like, holy shit, something's happening.
yeah.
So I thought it's an awesome story. I know obviously you lost money on it. Horse racing, like, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm like from the outside looking in. I feel like it's more of like an event, and it's like you're just there to, you know, like
Oh,
nobody
100%.
expects, nobody's expecting to win money off it. Like, so you're
I
saying
don't.
like
I
I
see.
lost
Like,
money on the race, but like it's like, you know, like
yeah,
it's for the novelty of it.
yeah. I won some money last year on it, but like I don't. You got people who follow like the beginning of the season, like in February, like these first few races of in like wintertime, basically, and I don't follow any of that stuff. I just look at who the people like coming into the Derby, and I throw some money on it and hope I get lucky. And but I do get into it because I did love going to Arlington a lot, and I do like the little dress up. I like the mint
You like
juleps
the
and everything.
pageantry of it all.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
you
And
were
I
the
feel like
one,
one of these years we're gonna make it down there for the Derby.
you were the one that suggested the whole theme party for Rick's
Yeah,
40th and
I
stuff
and
like
I and
that.
I said it in jest, and then my buddy's wife,
Everybody
yeah, it just
snowballed with
went
it.
with it. So, but so and I'll segue this into the next talk here. Um, we obviously with Kentucky Derby, there's a lot of bourbon that's drank, mint juleps and Old Forester, Woodford, all that good stuff. And you had a list of your top bourbons that you wanted to go to because we tried a lot of good stuff over the weekend. And some people brought my buddy some gifts, and he was generous enough to pop open some of those bottles and give us a taste.
Yeah.
And
So
so
it was just an
break
interesting,
down your list here. What's
it
your
was his 40th birthday, and like people were generous enough to bring him some pretty cool stuff, and Rick was generous enough to share it with everyone. At one point in the evening, he popped open a Bardstown Discovery Series 6,
yes.
and you had mentioned to me, they're like, is this one of the best bourbons you've ever had? Because we've had it before, and at the time when I had it, I'm like, man, this is really good, and it's still very good. But that question threw me down a rabbit hole that I didn't get out of until the following morning, because I'm like, man, I really want to know. Like, I had never like just power ranked the bourbons I've ever drank and stuff like that. So Bardstown Disco 6, just outside the top 10. And for a lot of people, a lot of these on the list is going to be stuff that like you just don't see, because it's more stuff that like you got to go to Delilah's, or we've been to the Twisted Spoke, and we've had a couple of these, you know, more rare bottles. But there's some
Hmm.
stuff that you could just find like outside the shelf. So I made 15. I had a list of 15. I couldn't cut it down anymore. And if you ask me in a month, these might change. You know, like like at some points, I love. So my top one right away is Michter's Barrel Strength Toasted Barrel Bourbon. I've had it two different times. I've had it at two different places, um, and it just tastes like s'mores. It's s'mores in a glass, and I love. I'm a sucker, and you could call me maybe a tater, or you know, like a noob or what. I'm a sucker for toasted barrel stuff. You know this. I've asked you to pick me
Yeah.
up a couple of toasted barrel stuff, Penelope and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for toasted barrel stuff. So Michter's Toasted Barrel Bourbon and Rye 1 and 2, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, was something that was really good. I've had a couple George T. Staggs and Old Forester Single Barrel, the Bub City pick. But the point of this was just like, man, I really never sat down and really, you know, put pen to paper and be like, what is my top bourbons and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting going forward. We've only been doing this for what, maybe 2.5 years, the whole bourbon, like
Yeah.
experience. Like it's been relatively short, but feel like
Like, even me last summer, I was still kind of like, I didn't know some of this stuff. Like,
but we've gone like, you know, head first into this. We're diving into the deep water pretty quickly. And I feel like we're both knowledgeable, which I think is a big plus to where like friends have been asking us, like, what bottles do you recommend? Or what is this? Or why don't you like this? And stuff like that. So this list, like, I don't want to keep rambling about stuff that nobody's ever drinks, but it got me thinking we should do a series of like, I really want to do something like, the top 5 inexpensive bourbons you could find at Jewel. Because there's some really good stuff at Jewel. Not everything has to be allocated. Not everything has to be Pappy and Weller and stuff like that. So, like there's stuff at Jewel. You mentioned the Knob Creek 12 and Knob Creek 15. Typically the 15 is harder to find, but Knob Creek 12 sits at Jewel's in most Chicagoland area. And that's one of the best bourbons.
It's the best, one of the best bourbons you never bought. It's because it's very underrated bourbon, and it's one of my favorites. But
yeah,
I just want to run through your top 10.
So the top 10, one, 2 was the Michter's Toasted Barrel Bourbon and Rye. 3 is E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. Number 4, George T. Stagg. Number 5, Old Forester Single Barrel Strength, and that's a Bub City pick. Number 6 was the Weller Foolproof Warehouse pick. Number 7, Weller 107 Big Star pick. That was your bourbon that you had picked up from Big Star maybe 3 years ago, probably longer. But that one, the number 7, it's Weller 107, that might have started it all, because that, when you had it and you let me have it, like that was unlike anything I had ever tried before, especially that new into the game. Number 8, I've been lucky enough, shout out Julie. She's gotten me multiple batches of the Stagg Junior. And I love anything Stagg Junior. I like the higher proof stuff. Number 9, also high proof, Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered. And then number 10, Blanton Straight from the Barrel, which I give Blanton's a lot of shit. We both do. But the regular Blantons that, people are really always looking for and stuff like that, I don't think it's anything special. This Straight from the Barrel was really, really good. So yeah, that's my top 10. Some stuff you can find that you won't be able to find. Barrel Seagrass, I recommend to everyone. If you never had Barrel Seagrass, that's something that like you can find at Binny's most times, and it just tastes like apricot candy, or those peach rings, those candy peach rings. I always compare it to that. So yeah, man, that's my list.
All right, cool. Yeah, and we're doing the Bourbon Trail next month, so I'm sure that list is going to change. Yeah,
Joey we've really grown after Fireball.
I feel like I need to go to a country club right now in Wrigleyville and just slam Fireball on a Sunday night.
Yeah, but yeah, Whiskey at Comiskey will be in Kentucky in about a month, and that'll be fun. We'll have some stories after that, because I've just been thinking about that trip since you started booking it, and it's just like it's coming up quick. I can't wait, man. It's gonna be like a kid at Disneyland. That's literally what I'm gonna feel like.
So, also, I didn't get a chance to watch it, so fill me in here. You said Canelo lost, huh?
Canelo lost. Dimitri Bivol, a guy, he went up basically 25 pounds in weight to fight. And from the start of the match, dude, it seemed like, so Canelo always starts off slow in any of his fights. And I've seen them all, he takes his time. People say like he downloads the data, like the Matrix. So like he'll lose the first 2-3 rounds, just kind of like, warming up and kind of gauging his opponent. And that happened in this fight, and I wasn't worried. I was like, whatever. But slowly but surely, you noticed that Dimitri Bivol, like he wasn't affected by anything Canelo was doing, and Canelo couldn't figure him out. And a lot of it had to do with he was just much bigger. And I don't think he was used to that size. And his power punches weren't really doing anything. He was effective with his uppercut, but he couldn't land them nearly enough. And it's just one of these things where it's like, maybe he just bit off more than he can chew. And at this point of his career, like nobody was expecting it. I think
is it all downhill from here now for Canelo? Like,
it's interesting because he's fought everyone that he want. I know people were talking about Triple G one last time and stuff like that, but realistically, he has nothing else to prove. Like really, he went up 25 pounds to fight a guy just because, like to try to collect another belt. He was like the belt collector, Kenny Omega style. Um, and it was just something like it was gonna happen, but I just didn't expect it to happen, like this fight. And so I know Joey P was watching. He never got going. It just never happened. So like I was expecting, when it goes to a decision, anything can happen. But like if he would have, the judges would have given it to him, it would have been bullshit because like he just flat out lost rounds left and right. Like there's no way he would have won. But the one thing I was saying is like Canelo for the last like 2-3 years, he's been like really deep in the weeds in his golf game. And as soon as that happened, I knew the end was near because like once you deep dive into golf and you want to just keep getting better, you can't focus your attention on both things. And I'm gonna steal this quote from like Eddie Hearns, but like Big Cat said it today. It's like it's tough to run in the streets when you've got like silk pajamas, and it's a true thing, dude. Like the hungry boxer is always going to be like the guy that doesn't have it all. Canelo has everything he ever wants. He's made millions upon millions of dollars, and he has nothing else to prove. So I think he's still gonna fight. He said he wants to rematch. He wants to like try to avenge his loss, but I think it's the tail end of his career, and you can't blame him, dude. He's been in the game for so long. He was so young when he started, so it's just like now who's next? Like because there's no one else after Canelo. It's just gonna be him, and then that's it.
Yeah, be interesting. When we all saw what happened to McGregor, after he lost, like it was just all downhill after he was the two belts guy. So hopefully he's got a couple more good fights left in him. But that was shocking. I didn't get a chance to watch the fight. Obviously, we're all my buddies, and I was slamming all the bourbons. But yeah, that's hard.
It was just like upset weekend, all over sports.
Yeah, all upset Saturday. Yeah,
upset Saturday.
So also this weekend, as we're going back, it was Mother's Day, and I brought up I wanted this topic added because I feel like it needs to be said, and you might not agree with me, and if you're people listening, you can chime in on this debate as well. And I said it to you, Mother's Day, Father's Day, they're not a gift holiday.
Yeah.
It's not a gift holiday. It's flowers. You take your mom out, your dad out for a nice dinner, or you cook them something, get them a nice card. It's not a gift holiday.
Disagree. And I only say that because I've just always grown up like, and this is coming from a guy that's been admittedly a terrible gift giver. And I'm sorry once again to my wife. She's known this for a long, long time. She's awesome. She's probably the best gift giver pound for pound in the world, bourbons and sneakers and everything I could ever think of, stuff that like I don't even know where to find. She ends up finding and stuff like that. She's awesome. I'm a terrible, terrible gift giver, but even then, so you just got to do something, man. It's not like you're not asking much, and even flowers in a card. When you text me that, I thought you meant like nothing. You're going cold turkey.
I'm saying
like,
I'm saying Mother's Day is like
man?
It's flowers, it's cards. You take them out to dinner, you make them a dinner,
brunch.
That should be it. It's not, to me, it's not a gift giving holiday. This isn't Christmas. This isn't a birthday. It's just acknowledge how good your mama and your papa are, and just treat them nice. Like I don't think we need to go out there and get jewelry and perfume and
they deserve it.
Louboutins and stuff like that.
I'll be the good guy. They deserve it. They put up with our bullshit for 365 days a year. One day a year, maybe get them something nice.
Nah, every day's Mother's Day, right?
Not with us two.
See, now I'm gonna get dragged here.
You are gonna get dragged. I knew this was gonna go bad for you, dude. I knew it.
I'm sticking to my guns on this one. I think it's you do something nice for your mothers. You show them how much you love them. But I'm just saying I don't think it's a gift holiday.
I,
Just spend time with them.
selfishly, I got Father's Day coming up. I would like something, so I think it is a gift holiday. But
See,
realistically,
I don't think I would. Like I know I'm not a dad, but
no,
I
yeah,
would I
no,
don't think
real, no. Like
I don't think I would
we
want
don't,
anything. I like
and I'm the same way.
just
Even with Christmas and my birthday, I don't expect anything. I don't. We don't realistically. We don't need anything. We're lucky to like. If I like something, I try to save up and get it. And Julie spoils me 365 days a year. But like, it is Father's Day, Mother's Day. Like, I didn't think it's that big of a deal. I'm not going out and buying Louis Vuitton purses or for my mom or anything. But something.
did you get your mama something nice?
Well, maybe this is gonna indict me, but she's in Mexico, so I didn't have to do anything. I had to wait for her to come back.
Oh,
But
Julie,
Julie is. She always gets. I said it. She's the best gift giver, and she needs gifts too.
okay. Well, hey, you know what? If you need the gifts, then own it. You know,
I just thought it
but
was like a weird, like, not even like a hill to die on. But when you text me the debate, I'm like, this is a debate. It's like, just
well,
get gifts.
I have seen this on Facebook and Twitter leading up to and I'm not the only one who feels that way. I feel like it's just like I said, flowers, card, take them out, cook them dinner, do something nice, show them you care. I'm not the only one who feels this way, and I'm sure in the chat here right now, there's not going to be anyone who agrees with me. But if you scour the interwebs, we're like the Illuminati.
Speaking of Illuminati, save it for next week.
We gotta save it for next week. But yeah, if maybe you get a nice bourbon then for Father's Day, and all will be right in the world. You'll be happy.
If Julie listened to this podcast, now I'm not getting shit because of your dumbass idea.
Well, hey, I'm changing the world one person at a time, right? all you really need is like a steak dinner, right?
I don't need anything. I'm happy every day of the year, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Mother's Day is every day.
That's not true. That's not true. It's just not, because it's like they have to put up with our bullshit, and I'm saying this as husbands, but also as like kids. Like they have to put up with our bullshit 365 days a year. So every day is a struggle, man, just to get to like nap time and bedtime, and it's a war out there, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like every day is Mother's Day. You gotta show them you love them every day. I'm just saying it's not a gift day. That's my thing.
Not you.
No, I do not.
You are. Well, yeah, no. You are. You're in the doghouse, not me.
I'm not the only one who feels this way. So I'll show you. I'll have to send you some of the stuff I saw.
I'm gonna have to find these clowns on the internet, and we're gonna have to drag them as well. I don't know whose side you're siding on, man.
Oh, I'm just siding on the. Like I said, I told you yesterday, I got 3 mamas.
That's true.
A lot of gifts.
It is.
So it's a lot of gifts, taking out to dinners, doing stuff. Yeah, I cram it all in one day. That's
You're now said Jason's about to catch your hand. Jason's about to catch him head from 3 mamas.
Nah, they don't want gifts. As long as people as long as the people as long as random strangers reinforce my hot takes, that's my.
No, all right. No, we're gonna go to Jason's question of the week, and now it's this comes from a guy that gets money on a St. Patrick's Day card in his 30s. Remember, that was a random ass story. Hey, that's a good aunt. That's a
you know what?
That's a real good aunt.
Like, I get it's only child syndrome. It's only child syndrome. I get spoiled.
Buy mom a gift, you degenerate. Shout out Fishbones.
Hey, they got flowers, cards, and treated to dinner. And we did it all weekend. And
I
I
don't think
even
you're
did a
gonna win
breast
this
cancer
one.
walk for my mama. So if you
That was
didn't do a
very
breast
good.
cancer walk, then you don't get to throw stones at me. All right.
That was a good gesture. But now you can't throw that good gesture and be like, look at me now.
I'm
You
just
should have done
saying.
this. You should have done that wherever you did. Like, the warmness of your heart, not to show it and like be like, hey man, look what I did now. So but
No, but
kudos to
I'm
you.
just saying
That was an early morning walk.
if you're trying to crucify me here, I did a breast cancer walk.
No one's trying to crucify you, dude. You brought up this topic. I didn't even.
I just want to. It's.
I was
I'm
just
just saying.
shocked you brought this up.
I saw a lot of people talking about it on Facebook and Twitter, and I was thinking like, oh, this has been my credo for the past few years, because I used to always get like the gifts, but then like your parents get older, they don't want anything. Like, what do you want for Mother's Day? Nothing. I don't want nothing. So it's like, okay, well then what can we do? And it just turned to like just spending time, just like get some nice flowers and do a nice dinner and get together. Like,
It is
and
different.
every mom's different. I get it, but
No, but it is different. Like
I've
now that you're
fought the good
moved out.
fight for numerous times, and when you don't give me ideas of what you would like for Mother's Day, then it's just gonna come into like, all right, we're taking you out to dinner.
A bowling ball, Homer Simpson style.
There you go. I like that idea too. All right, what do we got here in the comment? It's pancreatic cancer walk. Let's go.
Oh yeah, and so now you're tuning your own horn. Now we're gonna have to do walks every weekend now.
Is it a Father's Day walk?
Walk a golf course, maybe.
I see. I won't even walk a golf course. It's cart or bust.
Yes, that's probably a smart idea.
You can't go golfing and not rent a golf cart, especially drinking beers and driving a golf cart. That's the best. I don't
That's
want
the
to
only
walk any of
reason to
that.
go.
No, I don't want to walk that pulling my clubs behind me or
Schlepping it around.
having some kid carry them for me. No, golf cart it. All right. So I was trying to think of like what question I could ask you guys this week, and I think I got a good idea, and it was one that me and Sarah were talking about in bed the other day, and it's I don't think anyone's gonna really know. It's just kind of like a hypothetical. But do you think
Okay.
dogs have a sense of morality?
No.
That's what I said too. Sarah believes that dogs have a sense of morality and that they know what they're like, that they're doing something wrong.
They only know that they're doing something wrong because you trained them to know what's right or what's wrong. Like if if you told them, not to go up the stairs ever and they go up the stairs, that's because you told them that and they know that. I don't think it's something like ingrained in them that like they're doing something wrong. It's in their nature to just be a wild animal.
That was my thing too. Like a dog would know that you did. They only know they did bad after you would yell at them or saying like bad dog, or like something like that. Then they know, like, yeah, okay. But I don't think dogs are like going around your house thinking, oh man, how can I fuck up my owner's life today?
I don't know that some dogs are like that. I mean, shout out Luna back when she was a young whippersnapper. Sometimes she'd just be like, "What can I get into? What am I gonna be?"
So you think she did have some morality?
Nah, just joking. I mean, no, she didn't know left from right.
See, that's the thing. Yeah, I think dogs don't know. They just do. I don't think it's anything like where I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna wake up and choose violence today, or I'm gonna wake up and be an asshole dog. Like
The real question should be, what are you two smoking before you go to bed? That is a legitimate conversation. I don't think I didn't see you guys going down that deep end.
Well, sometimes you have a couple bourbons in bed, you're watching some TV or some Netflix show, and some just random shit just pops in your head. Like do you ever just sit in bed and drink bourbon?
Not in bed. It's usually on my couch. Yeah.
You gotta go bourbon beds, dude.
Shower beers and bourbon beds. That might be a good way to go.
Shower beers, bourbon beds. Like
shower beers are, top tier beer.
Oh yeah, those are. I love me a good shower beer. But yeah, it's like just get a nice little 2-ouncer going with a whiskey stone and pop on some like Netflix or something like that,
and then and then just start giving each other existential crisis questions.
yeah, see, and then
Is
you
this where
just
you
sit,
get all
it's
your?
like
Is this where you get all your random ideas? Is just like
yes, it's just sitting in bed drinking bourbon, watching TV,
whiskey
and
at
then
Comiskey and then
stuff
bourbon
just
and
comes to you. I had like, this is where I have like my whole list going. So,
hit me with one
I'm not
more.
gonna
Hit me with one more. Hit me with
I'm not
one
gonna
more.
go more than one, but I was hoping this. I was curious about if anyone else thought that dogs were had a sense of morality or not. So
Hit me with one more, unless John Slidishka wants to give us the one we couldn't say before.
no, I ran that by Sarah as
By
well,
the
and that
flagpole.
one, yeah, that one's not gonna fly on the podcast. Sorry, John.
That's once we started like what are those Patreons, behind the paywall.
Yeah.
Then we can go.
Also, shout out John. Good seeing you on Saturday. I wish you could have stayed longer, but yeah, it was good seeing you. At least for the whole party, but it was good to spend some time with you. Have shoot the shit. Joey wants to ask about chicken or egg tonight. Everybody knows it's the egg.
How did the egg get there?
God.
All right, now we're not going down this road.
No, we're not touching that one.
We're not going down this road.
No, we're not. All right, I could hit you with one more.
Hit me with one more. We got a little bit of time.
Okay. If you could, at your current age, if you could relive any decade, what would you relive?
And I stay my current age right now.
Yeah, you can.
I'm 38 and I could go anywhere.
Yeah, you can go back in time to any decade.
Damn.
And you get.
Oh man, that's a good question because I want to say the 80s just because I'm a sucker for that kind of music and stuff like that. But it has to be like the early 70s. It has to be like, sex, drugs, rock and roll. When was Woodstock? Like that era, like it just, the Doors, everything. It just like.
What if you got drafted to Vietnam then?
Ah, fuck, damn. I guess I'm fucking Forrest Gump then.
Well, I guess you probably couldn't because of your age.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm 38, so it's too late. And I got
you get off the chopper and like pull your ACL.
Yeah, just blown out hamstring. That's it.
Yeah, let just leave me for the Viet Cong, man.
What's your answer?
Get out of here. I think I would take the 90s.
At our current age, 90s.
Yeah, because like I feel like I was born in 82, but like the first early 90 years, especially like the peak Jordan years, they were still kind of like faded memories for me. Like I knew more of like the second dynasty or second three-peat Bulls. So like I feel like I would want to relive like the whole Jordan glory, even the dips of him.
That's a good
retiring.
A good point.
But then I could also like be a pioneer of the internet and like just go like put all my money in like Apple and Microsoft and everything, and then
Jobs, Gates, Wozniak.
Like I just go put all my money and like go bet on teams I knew were gonna win. And
Julie has a good point. 60s, but as a white male. Did you ever watch Mad Men? That Mad Men area.
The new one?
Mad Men, yeah, with like John.
Oh, Mad Men. Sorry, I just said Batman. I was like, I see
Mad Men.
Like that whole Sarah wants to watch that one. She wants to start watching
it. It was pretty. I would only catch it like when Julie was watching it, but it's really good. And then like, obviously, like just that era of like drinking scotch and smoking cigars in the office, and like that seemed like a nice life.
Yeah, except for the blatant sexual harassment.
Well, that's a good point. That's a great point. That's why she's going back as a white male. But I mean, you can't. There's no wrong answers. Like I think it would be cool, dude. We were 3 years. I was 2 years old when the Bears won their Super Bowl. Imagine if we were like 23, 24, 25. Like, because we've
That's
never
true.
seen that before. Like, that'd be cool to check that out and, like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that would, except like the high would be great, and then the fall would be in after '86 when McMahon got hurt then, and
Fucking
it
Packers.
all come it all came crashing down. Um,
Yeah, I think I would do, like, I don't know, whenever Woodstock was. When was it, like 68, 70 something?
68, 69, something like that. I would probably do the '80s just for more of the party scene, just for
Yeah.
like South Beach, Miami, doing
You,
blow up,
I was about to say, you just want to do coke, man.
living the whole American Psycho.
Yeah,
Not that, not that part, not the whole killing and stuff, but like Wall
there's no
Street,
there's no wrong answers. Like,
yeah,
for
Wall
me, like,
Street money. But no, I think for me it would probably be the '90s. Great, just best, some of the best music, especially with the rise of. Maybe I'll go warn Tupac not to go to Vegas. Keep
yes,
Tupac and Biggie out of Vegas. Like, no, don't go, guys. Trust me, it's bad for you.
yes,
You know,
trust me, Jason
do
James.
not, we need you around for another, for 40 more years. Like, stay out of Vegas. Yeah, but I think I want for me it was just I want to see Jordan. I just want to remember all those like awesome like 90 through 93 games
But
where he just
we
put up.
do remember that. I remember
I
those
I don't
vividly.
remember as much as I remember like the classic games, but I don't remember like
I
all like those.
remember everything from, like, the Lakers series on, like, from that 90-91 season on. But I was like, dude, when I talked, I was deep in the weeds with Chicago Bulls basketball at that time. It was like my Marvel or my, like, Star Wars at that time, or now. But I was like deep in the weeds with the Bulls. So yeah, I remember
Joey
that, like,
P.
as a kid. Joey P
Joey P's
says,
taking the '80s.
dude, I could see Joey P driving a mean station wagon, the shaggin' wagon.
Yeah, and Joey P would be the one doing like try to get to like Studio 54 and all that stuff.
Studio 54.
All the South Beach clubs. That would be Joey P. Giving he wants to bust up the percolator.
Julie and I have just
Was
finished the
percolator in the '80s?
yeah, for sure.
I
Probably
can't remember
like
if it was like
late, but that was
late
probably like
80s.
late 80s though. I don't know. We should get
That's a good
Joel
point.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, we just finished the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, the latest season of that, and that's like late. That's like early '60s. Um, that's just a cool era, man, with the big ass cars and everybody's wearing suits, even to like ball games and stuff. Obviously, that would suck. I can't imagine going to like the White Sox game, sitting in the bleacher seats in like a full suit, but it just seemed like a cool era.
Yeah. No. Well, I feel like we got some good talk here with that. So good for people
That
who
that was
want to
very
chime
good.
in later. All right, you want to bump some people?
I don't have much bums. You got a bum?
I do have a bum. I
All right,
got
go.
one bum. I know we have a consensus MVB. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
co-sign that one. My what a bum is the it's still the Apple announcers, particularly Chris Young.
So that's
He
yes, Chris Young.
he is beyond terrible. Um, they it the and I forget her name. Who was the play by play? I forget her name, but she was a lot better than she was the first game that she did with the White Sox. But Chris Young is just, as someone who was drafted by the White Sox, he should be ashamed of himself because he just was like saying stuff like, "Oh, if I had my notes in front of me, I could answer that question," and stuff like
He
that.
seemed unprepared. He was unprepared. I listened to Sox Machine this morning, and Josh Nelson was going in on the Apple TV broadcast as a whole, saying like, if the Sox are going to be on Apple TV, he might just skip the game. He really did not like it. I didn't think it was that bad. I think Chris Young is a problem. He was unprepared. He didn't sound like he was very, like, professional, or like, he's young, obviously, and he's just getting into the game, but he didn't seem polished. Everything
No,
else I like, dude. I like the 4K cameras. There was this really cool shot of Josh Harrison, like, in the dugout, like, high-fiving people, and it's just stuff that you don't see on normal broadcasts. I like the stats. I think Apple TV is headed in the right direction with this. It's just they have to fine tune things. I think, Fox and ESPN, they've been in the game for so long that they have the experience and they know what works and what doesn't, and Apple TV is kind of finding it. So it's going to take a little while. I like it. I think I'm giving it a shot, and I even if it's for like right now it's one game a week, right, or two games a week.
Yeah, one game every like the Friday game.
I'm cool with that, and if they get better, they get better. I don't mind it. I didn't think it was as bad as people on the internet was making it out to be. But yes, Chris Young was the problem.
Chris Young is yeah, and I get kind of maybe like trying to find like seasoned announcers like for a new broadcast team, but I mean, there's got to be someone better than him. Could you imagine if like him and Darren Jackson had to do a broadcast team?
Dude, so now that I'm back at work and stuff like that, I've been listening to a lot more Sox radio because like the 110 starts and stuff like that. I know you don't like DJ that much, and I'm still not like full blown I'm not a fan. He's not as bad as I remember him. Like he hasn't
Maybe
been
he got
that bad.
maybe he got better. I
I
feel
know
like they
he
could
was
have paired
annoying.
him with someone better with Len Casper because he's just such a legend and so great at his job. And then seems like you got goofy Darren Jackson just.
He's still goofy. Like he's like very much like dad jokes that fall flat, but like it's kind of funny. Like it's almost funny that he swings and misses in some of that stuff.
And then my MVP, we're co-signing it. It's all the mothers, everyone out there, all the mothers, all the mamas, everyone.
All three of yours, mine. Shout out Julie once again. It was her birthday last week. We said happy birthday at the very end of the Rob Schwartz podcast. But I'll say it once again: happy birthday, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah,
love you.
Happy. You're all the most valuable bums.
MVP.
Not so much of an emphasis on bum. Yeah. All the mamas who don't even all the mamas who don't get a gift for Mother's Day. You're still the most valuable.
Still the MVPs.
Yes, still you still run the world. So that's all I have to say. We'll end it on that. Don't forget if you want to join us Saturday night for Bums Night Out, Whiskey at Comiskey for the Sox Yankees game. We will be tailgating in Lot B in the afternoon. I don't know what we're gonna cook yet, but maybe some arrachera. Maybe we'll do some smash burgers. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that out, but it'll be a good menu.
Hopefully, we got some more exciting news in a couple upcoming podcasts. There's things in the works we're all excited about. We'll tease it and leave it at that.
In the works. The wheels are in motion, is what they say. So,
but yeah,
all right.
Thank you everyone for listening. Joey P, John, Sarah, Julie, everyone else in the Twitter world.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Like, subscribe, and share. I gotta keep asking that because we need to get those subscriptions up. So if you're listening, if you're following, just smash that like button on YouTube.
Yes, and subscribe, and then arm twist all your friends to subscribe too. Tell them I'll give them $1 if they subscribe.
Steal your parents' phones. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Go on their phones. Your parents download the podcast and like it on YouTube.
That's all we ask. Just yeah. All right. Catch you guys next week. Have a great one.
Good night, Javi.